it makes me think about what is an artist. Is an artist when you're like, you know, all melancholy, or, you know, or is art like you super square and you got your briefcase and you just got, you know, Bill Gates type swag? Like, can you be an artist under any circumstances?
I think so. Yeah. I think that any form of expression is art. And I think it's something that people need to recognize and tap into, because we don't all express ourselves in the same way. I paint, some people dance, some people act.
A librarian organizing books, could you consider that art?
No.
Why not? What's the difference?
I mean, unless she's organized, or he is organizing the books in a way that's like aesthetically like moving them, and, you know, like if it brings them joy and it's in a form of expression, yeah. But if you're just putting books away by alphabetical order.
But what if they're doing it by color?
Oh yeah, then like, I think that matters.
So where does the separation start? Because obviously there's a separation in people's mind for sure. When they describe art, right, so quote unquote, and then something that can be artistic in a way, right, like organizing books. Yeah. So where does that differentiation start for you guys?
I had to deal with this so much at Otis because, and this is, I think, where I deviate a little bit from a lot of people. I mean, you know, Lonnie and I have had a lot of talks about art, and I come off as an art snob, I think, to some people, but I think there's a difference between art and design and illustration and art. Not to say that any one is greater than the other. I think they all have their place. For instance, you're talking about the guy who designed the chair, or the person who designed that chair. Like, they've contributed something, you know what I mean? Like, they did their job. But I think once we go into these gallery spaces or these museums and we're like really researching these pieces in the classical art term, it's because these people have transcended the mediums and they've expressed something, or they've made an idea accessible to people that wasn't there before. You know what I mean? Like, they've changed the way we perceive certain things. For me, that person was Marcel Duchamp when he made Fountain. If you don't know it, go look it up.
Even I gotta look that up.
Yeah. It's like a urinal, right?
It's a urinal, and it says Armut. That was his alias. And the reason why that, to me, shifted the way I look at art in conjunction with Plato's allegory of the cave is because it makes you question art in such a grand way. Prior to that was modern art. And in modern art, you know, a lot of it was just about painting pretty pictures and, you know, scenery and people walking and, you know, like all this like really pleasant stuff. But there was a whole bunch of really fucked up things that were going on in the world that wasn't being represented in the work. So Courbet's Stonebreakers was another painting that, you know, kind of like was the light bulb that went off for me, because you see people walking down this cobblestone road in England in like the 17 or the 1800s, but you don't think about everybody who makes those cobblestone roads. True. And that painting, Stonebreakers, is the people actually like breaking the stone for that whole process. So it just shined light on another part of that equation. So, you know, you just get like a wider perspective of like the social landscape. And I didn't really explain the whole Armut thing, but basically he took a urinal and put it in a gallery setting and then made everybody say like, what is art? You know, like that's why that's art to me.
Yeah.
Would you say that was your favorite piece? Or do you have favorite pieces?
It's my favorite for what it contributed to art and therefore civilization. You know what I mean? But like just aesthetically, no, it's not my favorite thing to look at. But
are there any types of art or artists that you hate?
I have very little respect for artists who, like, my thing is this. I don't like when artists do simple, like, almost, where are they, stencils of celebrities.
Like to spray paint on the side of the road?
Well, not even just spray paint, but when it's just a simple image of a celebrity and there's just no thought in it and there's no meaning behind it. Because I love painting celebrities too. It's fun. But I don't like people who make their living off of just painting only celebrities. Like, I'm like, you're not thinking about anything. You're just finding what works for this image, and I just don't think that that's a form of expression. And I used to do it, so that's why
That's why you hate it?
I'm like, guys, like, I know how little thought went into it when I used to do it, so like, yeah, it just irritates me when I see artists who are like really popping that.
Oh, that's the difference, because they're popping for it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't hate them if they're just like unsuccessful.
Yeah. Because it's not even them, it's the audience. It's the fact that people who aren't even into art, they'll go and they'll buy a piece like that and spend loads of money on it, but will pass up on a piece that actually took thought and, you know, a lot of work. So yeah, that's just a pet peeve of mine.
What does that say about? I'm sorry. What does that say about the interpretation of, like, say, the everyday man in comparison to somebody that has that eye? You know, because you say you can tell when someone didn't put that thought process, or you know because you have done that as an artist. So how is that a frustrating thing for you guys as artists when the general population makes somebody, you know, for lack of a better term, popping because of their lack of understanding of depth?
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating, but it's also understandable because people don't want to have to, you know, study art, or, you know, they know what they know. Everybody's in their bubbles, and it's understandable. It's just a frustrating thing I've noticed in pop culture mainly, and it just makes it tricky for lots of painters.
I think more than anything, it's indicative of civilization and like where we are as a society. Like, we're a convenient culture.
Yeah.
And it's not just that. It's like the fact that we rather eat fast food than something, you know, or than go home and cook something, or that we have to be instantly gratified with, you know, everything that we're experiencing for the most part. So like it's all just indicative of something larger. Like it's not that separate, you know, from any of that other stuff.